What is the difference between a revocable and an irrevocable trust? It's not simply that one can be revoked and amended and the other cannot. It's really about purpose. Hi, I'm Dan Covington. I'm an estate planning attorney in Lawrence, Kansas. I've been helping people get their affairs in order and leave a legacy they intend for just over 21 years now. I've done a lot of estate planning, and I try to do these videos from time to time just to kind of give an introduction to some topics that maybe you don't yet understand. Again, what are differences between revocable and irrevocable trusts? Again, it's not really about whether you can revoke or not. It's about the purpose of the trust. In a revocable trust or revocable trust, you can, of course, revoke or amend the trust, and usually the primary purpose is really just to pass assets without probate and potentially being able to use some kind of conditions or a schedule, a little bit of a time period to do that distribution rather than just right after your death. These can be things like I want to leave a portion of my funds to my child or my nephew for need-based support for post-secondary education or training after high school, with the remainder, whatever's left of his portion, when he's 25 years old, or to my children, but neither of them to receive their portion until they're 25 or 30 years old, or a fractional share at different ages. The assets in a revocable trust remain in control of the grantors, the people who start the trust. They remain there for life, and you can use them during your life, and then after they're available for the distributions, the part you already know about and you understand that it's going to be distributed out to your family, your loved ones, your charities. A regular revocable trust does become irrevocable at death of one or more of the grantors, depending on how it's defined in the trust document. The trust still operates, but mostly can't be revoked or changed after the death of one or both of the grantors of the trust. Now let's contrast that with an irrevocable or irrevocable, people say it different ways, a trust that can't be revoked. Obviously, right, it can't be revoked, it can't be amended after it's originally funded. So the primary purpose of a trust like this is really to remove assets from the grantor's ownership and control. Sometimes it's to remove it from their taxable estate. Maybe it's it's someone that's going to pass away without. There are several different kinds of strategies for someone who's going to die with what's now more than $11.5 million, and you've got estate tax things to worry about. Also, in certain kinds of irrevocable trust, people might fund these to get assets out of their control to avoid kind of a look-back period, to qualify for Medicaid maybe, and to avoid, if they go into nursing care, to avoid the state being able to recover those assets from their trust. Another way is just in hopes that the assets are well beyond the reach of creditors. Now most trusts, those assets are beyond the reach of the creditors of your beneficiaries, but if you're talking about potential creditors of your own, an irrevocable trust may be used in this fashion to kind of isolate those assets, get them out of your custody or control so they can't be attached or garnished by a traditional creditor. So again, hopefully I haven't muddied this up, but most traditional trusts are revocable trusts. The one your friends or your neighbors have can be revoked or changed. They can do so during their life. They can change it every week, every month, every year. And I'll go ahead and mention that people do change their trust, and often it's not so much that they're changing who or how it's distributed, who's distributed to or how it's distributed, but they're changing. There's just been a life change. They might change who is a successor trustee. You have two grantors. Maybe you and your spouse are trustees during while at least one of you are alive, after that, you need successor trustees. You need the person who's going to administer or distribute the funds, the assets out of that trust. So that's most often, in my experience, like I said, I've been doing it about 21 years, a little over that, and folks tend to just have life changes that necessitates a change in someone there is going to be in a trusted position in their estate plan. So hope this helps you out with kind of the notion of what people mean when they talk about revocable or irrevocable trusts. It's kind of a common question, but as I said, most everyone you know, they're funding a revocable trust so they can revoke it or amend it during their life. Hope this has been helpful to you. I'm Dan Covington. You can always find me at Estate Plan Kansas, and I hope to hear from you soon.